Papers, oh my gosh, am I right? How often are we dealing with just papers that come in from everywhere, right? It just seems like even in this digital world that we live in, we constantly have an influx of papers from one place or another, especially if you have a child with special needs. Maybe your child has just kind of some extra things going on and you're trying to figure out, could this be ADHD? Could this be autism? Could there be something else going on? And so you're in that process of seeking out different doctors and specialists and all of the documentation that comes along with all of that. Yes, there is definitely some of it that is digital, but man alive, we still really get the physical papers coming in with all of that. The good news is we are in summer, so the influx of school paperwork is at bay for the time being. So we're going to snag this opportunity to try to start getting a little bit of a system in place before the school year starts. So you have time to kind of play with a little bit of a system. So this is where that good enough system really comes into play, that you want to figure out, where are the papers piling up? Is it on your kitchen counter? Is it in the entryway? And so finding some sort of container. So this is an example. This is actually just a USPS box that we had on hand. Don't go buy any extra things. You have enough stuff in your home. I know you do. You have something in your home that would work for this. So I just took some scrap paper. Again, I happen to have it on hand. I just wanted to make it pretty because that makes it more fun. Find a way to make it fun for you. You're going to be more likely to use the system. This is one that we actually use for our kids' memorabilia. So typically during the school year is when this fills up, and we're using this on a regular basis where something comes home from school that we want to keep in their memory bin. It just goes in here, and then I file it in the memory bin when I have time. Same concept. When papers come in the door that you're like, oh gosh, I'm probably going to need this. If it's junk mail, just recycle it when you come in the door. But we're talking about papers that you're like, gosh, I'm probably going to need that, and it just pile it there. And then when you want to go find it, what happens? You're like, oh shoot, I think I put it here. Oh, maybe it got moved. Maybe somebody else in your household moved it. And you're playing that game of trying to figure out, where did that paper go, which is really frustrating when you really need to find it. So embrace a good enough solution. Find a container that works in the space where papers normally get piled up. So maybe a box like this is too big and it doesn't work. Maybe you can put this on your home office if that's where papers get piled up. Maybe you've got, more of just like a flat plastic bin that is about the size of paper, where you can just drop them in there. Find something that you already have that works for you in the space where papers normally pile up, and just that's where papers go. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing super organized at that point in time, but the point is a container that limits the space of that paperwork, so that you and all of your household know that when they have papers that they need to keep, and maybe they aren't sure if they need to keep it, that's okay. Put it in and then you put something on your calendar. It doesn't even have to be weekly. If it works for you to do it weekly, awesome. If it's just monthly, that's okay. But you set a time in your calendar to deal with the box, to deal with the papers, and then it just becomes part of whatever you're already planning to do that day. We are looking for simple, good enough solutions you can implement today to start making a difference on feeling less overwhelmed with the volume of stuff in your home. And papers are definitely a big one that is a source of frustration for so many of us. So try this, and you know what? If it doesn't work, keep tweaking it. Maybe it's the location, maybe it's the size of the container. Play with it, and don't feel locked into the first thing that you try. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. You figure out what works best for you and your family. So I hope that helps you, and just remember, you are an amazing parent.